that the electronic voter register will be the priority and the manual voter register will be the last resort or the option thereof. Have you done due diligence on Smartmatic International, the company you had procured its services to provide the KIMS kits?
Before I come to this company procurement, which I'll ask the CEO to comment on, because procurement is a function of the management.
Okay.
I just want to say that in 2017, on the 4th of August, the High Court in the Court of Appeal in the case of NASA versus Iebc outlined what then constitutes the verification process. And in that case, the first issue then is biometric verification. If biometric verification fails, then there's alphanumeric search of the details, which involves just an ID number being used then to procure the details of the voter. And if that fails, then you resort then to a fiscal register.
Okay.
That is in the law,
okay.
And that law was made on 4th of August 2017, overriding then all the other
okay.
issues which are there. Now,
all right. Okay.
If we can move on from there, and then say that for the KIMS kits then to fail, we have other kits that are available for replacement. And then if you look at that as a commission, we are not coming from just, it's not our decision, it's what actually is provided for by that judgment. And that's how we come up with this framework. But on the issue of procurement, yes. Due diligence, I think...
Allow me then to go to the Chief Executive Officer, yes. Because this area needs a lot of clarity about the Chief Executive Officer. And I ask you again, what level of due diligence did you do on Smartmatic International Corporation?
First of all, I want to agree with the chairman that one is the procurement process was actually done above board. It was actually an open tender.
Okay.
And there is a committee that was actually appointed by myself as the accounting officer to do the evaluation of this tender. They are the same committee that are also responsible for doing due diligence. So before even award, there was actually due diligence that was actually done, and this actually involved going to places where actually they did election before,
okay,
and to interview those specific countries where actually it happened,
okay,
and also going to the specific areas where this farm exists.
Okay.
So those are two things that were actually done, and this they produce a report in terms of what actually they observed.
One final question,
yes.
Chief Executive Officer. Then during your meetings, you talked about the procurement process in awarding the company, in procuring its services. Did you know that the Cybercrime Investigation and the Coordinating Center, CICC, in the Philippines, after the 2016 elections, called on Smartmatics? It compromised the elections which led to the election of President Rodrigo Duterte. Did you know that in Uganda, the biometric voter kits failed, forcing the election officials to revert to the manual voter system? Did you know that in Venezuela, in Latin America in 2017, Smartmatic on its own acknowledged that the turnout voter figures were manipulated by at least 1 million voters? Did you establish this before you awarded the contract?
No, because I rely on the evaluation committee after they do the due diligence and they provide me with the report. That is what I rely on. And therefore, these other news about that you are providing now are things that I was not even aware about.
So the report you awarded never cited these issues?
These issues were never cited.
But this is a company that is seriously indicted by a cybercrime agency of a country.
This, I think, it would require the company to respond, because I don't have a...
But you're already in agreement with them?
Yes, it's because this information did not even come to our attention. You are actually saying that, and it's not even confirmed. This probably will be based on information that you've been able to search maybe from the internet and the rest. And I think it would be proper at this particular time if this question can be actually directed to the respective company for them. No. I cannot speak on their behalf.
Let me just finish up before Kamche comes in. One final question then, Chief Executive Officer. The chairperson earlier on talked about preparation process when I queried about how the agency ought to be a unit going forward. And we know all the disenfranchisement after the 2017 elections. You had 5 years before you procured this company. You never did due diligence. I mean, elections in Kenya have high stakes, and we're heading into a consequential elections that will determine the next president of this country and across all the elected positions. I mean, this is, in the understanding of many Kenyans, you not doing your job.
No, let me put it very clearly. This is a procurement process. You only commence procurement process upon provision of the budget. The budget for the purpose of general election was provided in 2021-2022, July. And therefore, that is a time when you can start procuring a vendor. You cannot be able to anticipate that 5 years later, I'm going to procure Citizen TV. You will only start procuring, and remember I said this is actually open tender.